Yo, what up guys? Shindig here. This is footage from a 13...
You play Disc Priest?
Our tank's yapping about having our healer play Disc Priest. This is footage from a 13 City of Threads we timed the other evening. And rather than just upload it to my YouTube channel, I wanted to actually voice over and provide some commentary on what our group was doing and also specifically what I'm doing playing Assassination Rogue. So, first pull here is pretty standard. We get the engineering slash rogue buff from the Vizier, I don't know how you say that, into this first pack. Now, I come here that I'm just gonna grow everything, so I don't pull my mark right away, but I just vanished for my mark on the Swarm card in a little bit here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Rupture, grow, get my maintenance up, and then it's into our cooldowns here. This pack dies pretty quick with the damage buff, so this is pretty chill.
I'm out of stops.
The way that our group usually does stops here is we'll just kind of calm what stops we have and use them, and then when we're out, we just kick everything. The nice thing about running the comp we do is that everyone has a short kick, so oftentimes we'll just do packs with like 0 stops, but we'll rotate kicks on them. I feel like we're pretty good at that. Second pull, another damage buff. We're going to double this Swarm Guard and the Herald. Rotating kicks from the Herald. Oh, we also save Lust for this pack. I think the goal here is to nuke the Herald as fast as possible. As you see, I almost let that kick go through.
I got next.
But we got it. And
Watch him.
this is fine. I get Shadows of Doubt. It gets instantly dispelled. Nobody gets hit. That's ideal. I also set my one-man Kingsman here. Time worked out. At this key level, basically every pack you're going to have a Kingsman up, which is pretty nice since the mobs live so long.
You're making our way towards the next pack.
We're going to go a slightly different way here, which I've never played before, but the idea is to avoid other Swarm Guard, or sorry, not Swarm Guards, avoid more of the Heralds.
Stabilize, wait.
So with this route, we're only playing one Herald.
I got kick on far faster.
Our healer's getting some mana here. I'm playing these first few pulls pretty greedy. Like, I'm not using many defensives during the Swarm Guard's infestation. Like, I'll rip my cloak and my evasion when it's up because it's off global and doesn't require any resources, but I generally don't hit feint or like Crimson Vial. See, I have the debuff right now and I'm not like pressing anything. Okay, I press feint a bit late there, but
I'll stop next.
Did they buff Assassination Rogue so you can grow like in between a pull, like mid pull?
Interrupt.
It's a 2-minute cooldown to do it. Okay, our tank's asking if they buff Garrote. It's interesting this season, like Garrote feels a lot better as a stop where it didn't previously. Like the ability hasn't changed. Its baseline's still the same as it was back in Dragonflight. Where you Garrote will just like you Garrote your target plus 2 other nearby targets and it silences them for 6 seconds. I think it's just because the pulls this season are generally smaller, so the target cap of the 3 target silence is like good. But yeah, we get the buff. We skip that Herald with Shroud by hugging the right and go into boss here with the damage amp, which is pretty sick. Unfortunately, I don't have 2 minutes up, but we do go into our 1-minute Kingsbane.
I'm here.
And this boss is pretty chill. I feel like it's just about having good positioning and comms with your group. Right? So
who you're gonna have the spell ready?
You said ping?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try.
our tank's pinging, we're removing. Our healer is pinging who gets dispelled first. So it's very clear to everyone what's going on.
If I do one more going down.
Oh, unfortunately I didn't apply my mark here. I think I just didn't remember to do it. I don't know why
I'm stunned.
I lost it going into this boss. I'd have to watch it back, but I have Vanish come up in like 15 seconds, so I'll get to reapply it. And then that will be fine. Oh yeah, we did lose a decent amount of single target because of that.
Care. Mobs.
Yeah, you hear our group calming to care since we didn't play the Herald
Like,
and Swarm Guard just in front of us there. We have a little bit less room to work with, but with good movement we can make it work.
Damn.
Also, I pressed my cloak for the first debuff, which is actually good. I was able to premium the first dot that went out. I mean, it's RNG, it's only going to go in 2 people, so I might not get picked, but I feel like that's the best use of cloak that fight.
I have a defensive CD here.
I have tank trinket, bro. Oh yeah. Also, you might have heard me call him that I have the tank trinket. So
Can you rally?
we did this key immediately, like coming immediately out of raid, where we're progging Princess Kaiveza, and I've been wearing the tank trinket for Kaiveza, the one that when you press it, it will like heal you over 20 seconds basically. But any overhealing done will just permanently increase your maximum health pool. So it's good in that fight to help survive like the various mechanics that go out. I think Rogue is like has a decent number of defensives, but none of them are like particularly super strong, so like feint doesn't work on a lot of things, so you basically have to play elusiveness and just play for the 20% DR on Kaiveza. Anyways, the trinket just makes it so that you can survive a bit better, and I forgot to change it going into this key. But it's funny because that's actually not a bad thing. I feel like that trinket is actually quite strong here because this key is like a serious boss check, boss survival check.
Easy.
But yeah, we killed the boss here. We still had a little bit more room if we needed more time, so I feel like that movement would work on like a 14. I don't know about 15. Either we probably need to pull out more damage or like optimize that movement even better. But next up, we're taking this like random name mob into the first eye. This is pretty standard. Just rotate kicks, focus down the eye, since the other dude will just eventually phase and give us the pheromone buff. The eye porting away for the frontal is super awkward too. Like when you go into a new pack and you want to send Deathmark or Kingsbane, it's just you're just gonna lose some value because it just disappears. But even so, I'm pretty sure you just always want to send Deathmark and or Kingsbane as soon as possible into this eye, just to ensure it dies as soon as possible. Since I believe it's like the highest health mob in these packs that will do.
It's behind the no, in the house.
Nice.
I'll pull it out.
The first pack spawns in the house here.
Got something for Void Rush? I think you can
These packs are pretty chill. At least the sets of 3 are. I think there's one pack you can get towards the end that's like a set of 4, which can be a bit more scary with the knife throws and void rushes that go out. We're never really scared of the caster mob because we have our group has a billion stop or a billion kicks. So
no slam again, dude.
I'm so used to tanking, I try to intervene you.
Yeah, we don't want that.
yeah. Also,
in combat?
the warrior in our comp is like usually plays prot warrior.
Careful here.
So he's just we just toss him into a 13 city as a DPS and he did well.
It's far.
No. It's gonna be in the back here.
As I guess
Is
you know,
it
while we're doing
there?
this trash, I'll talk a bit about the people that I'm playing with. Bing and Natural Flame, I've been playing with for basically as long as I've been like
First kick.
pushing Mythic Plus.
Your survival
Oh,
wasn't necessary.
and yeah, here I get meleeed, which was kind of weird. I had tricks up.
Oh, you're hanging out so close, man.
I swear
I wonder if there was. Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of weird. I wonder if it had something to do with like sometimes when the eye will spawn in before like the other
Definitely play
mobs.
Night Elf if you're gonna be pushing
So
me,
I just might have been the only person in combat for like a very short window, despite having tricks up, which might have been what killed me. I'm not really
He's
sure.
such a human
But-
bro.
Human
Yeah, I think I
Glazer
should have run it.
plays a fantasy game, rolls human.
Dude, also I'm getting roasted for playing human. Dude, alright.
Okay, we make it up.
The reason I'm human isn't because I'm like,
Hey, it's pretty good at miss.
oh, okay, well, I'm human because
Yeah,
when
you
I
know
first
better in
made
this?
this
I
character, like when I was 11 or something, I was a human glazer, dude. I thought humans were like the cool thing. I didn't like the other races. But now that like I'm older, I don't really care.
I'm assuming
But I don't want to
it's
pay for a race
in the way
change,
in the
so
back.
we're just rocking the human.
that means.
I actually also don't think
That's
human is
not
that
fair.
bad this season.
No, it's not. It's
Well,
kind
in
of
certain
pretty
keys,
well,
like in
so-
mists, for example,
No,
you can use your
No, 'cause that
racial
Delta
on
says
the
never spawn over there if
the
it's someone else
overgrow
or in the-
Rebuff
drink
shit
or
when you get a
from like the
chance.
big dudes in the first section.
This way.
There are other things you can like. There's a couple other dungeons I think you can use your human racial on for like random shit. So it gets some
This
value.
pack is scary, so
But yeah, this is the scary pack with 4 mobs. Although we just kind of make quicker work a bit. But yeah, as I was saying, playing with Bing and Natural Flame for a long time, pushing together for a long time, so they're cool guys. I think Burger, I'm also played with back during Dragonflight. He used to be Resto Druid main. He's been trying to reroll Arsham, as seems to be the case for most healers this season.
I can die.
And then Josh is
I didn't realize until
he's a
after.
DPS warrior in my new guild in Tab Target. And
Wait, look.
I
There's
played with
like
a
a
lot with
teacher teaching
him
your
as
students over
Prot,
here.
and he's been playing a lot as Prot warrior this season. But
You gonna stick around for a lesson?
we'll need one
Alright,
tank
I'll
for this
do the
dungeon, so
practice
he's
for
playing
Yo,
Fury.
Flames, check out my trinkets, by the way.
I'll do the first.
Yeah, but like, why are you trolling though?
okay. Yep.
Anyways,
Alright, let's make
second
this
boss
as,
here.
melee friendly as possible.
This I feel a lot more comfortable with this boss as of recent. I feel,
he's got
although I'm gonna
coolies.
die here
Yeah, free buff.
because,
Yeah.
and let me provide some context. So because we have double shaman, shamans can take a
I don't know.
talent
I don't have Incarn.
like
Just
I don't know what the
careful
talent's
forever,
called, but it makes
yeah.
it so that when they drop their
Who's
Wind
the
Rush
big guy?
totem,
Is
it
this
removes
guy?
all snares. And the nice thing about that
It's
is
just
the
scary.
like spikes that go out after like the first phase, I guess you'd call it. I'll point out when it happens. They apply a dot and a slow, and because they apply like a dot and a slow, the Wind Rush totem will essentially remove the dot entirely because it's considered a snare. So
Oh, no, this guy's,
it's essentially like a free
the
group-wide dispel, which is
Are
sick
they-
because we have 2 shamans. We can use one every single time.
Spread out.
So it's gonna go out here.
Pop something.
Now I feigned press Crimson Vial,
That's stream.
Your survival.
and I don't want to commit any
wasn't
more here
necessary.
because I'm thinking I'm gonna get dispelled, but then I get targeted by knife throw immediately after, and I go down.
Alright.
So that was kind of a awkward overlap. I had Cloaka, actually I didn't have Cloak. I had Evasion I could have pressed. I could have potted. I got a few things I could have used and probably should have. I would guess I wasn't expecting it to
You want me rally
do
this one or the next
that plus the knife throw to do as much damage as it did.
Like for me.
This one.
And because we were expecting the Wind Rush, I was like, oh, I'm going to save my Evasion and Cloak for something else later in the fight. Honestly, I don't think there's a better save for those 2 abilities. Like,
Or
send either Evasion or Cloak. Like, in this case, I'm playing Elusiveness, so that's why I get the benefit of Evasion. But I definitely should have sent one of them during that Glacial Spike. It probably... I think that is the most dangerous mechanic this fight, so... doing this key going forward, I'll probably do that. Yeah, Assa feels really good in this fight, by the way. Just keep your dots up on both of them. Caustic Spatter. Hopefully your tank keeps them together for Caustic Spatter and
Yeah.
kind of just truck.
icicles here.
That's it.
I'm pretty sure, so I pressed evasion there when I got targeted by that knife throw. I'm pretty
Spread
sure
out, spread out, spread out.
I also have evasion going, so I don't think I use anything else.
Take the jet stream.
Yeah. I think evasion actually just wore out there, so maybe I should have pressed cloak or something. But
Wait into the wall after this.
I pressed evasion earlier there to try and dodge a knife throw. I'm pretty sure you can, but I think I was like a global late, so like a second or two late. One thing I will say that's kind of annoying about... So, I mentioned I'm playing 2 unused trinkets. One is just Skardan's Grace, which is standard. And the other is this tank trinket that I forgot to take off, but I actually low-key think is good. The Skardan's Grace has a 2-minute cooldown, and the tank trinket has a 1.5-minute cooldown. Because of the timings of these 2 cooldown or trinkets, you kind of have to treat the tank trinket like a 2-minute cooldown, so you're not really benefiting from the 1.5-minute timer. Because like in generally the first pull of the dungeon, you're going to want to send Skardan's Grace because you're likely pressing Death Mark. Okay, so you go through that. 20 seconds later, your tank trinket will come up. Let's say I use that on cooldown, or it doesn't even have to be a tank trinket. Any 1.5-minute cooldown trinket. Maybe you're playing Transmitter, double unused with Transmitter for some reason. I don't know why you do that, but press that. A minute and 50 seconds after you press your first trinket, the tank trinket will come again. And you could press it there, but the problem is that if you use it, you then lose... You can't press your Skardan's Grace for another 20 seconds because of
I
the...
had more I could have sent there. I just thought Faint and Crimson was enough.
Oh, here I'm yeah,
we're a little
trying to
low on
compensate for my
CDs, I
death.
think,
I don't have
so,
CDs.
Just press
we'll
more
do this, I
defensives,
think, Flames.
shindigs.
I'm gonna do this one.
But yeah, you won't have... If you use your tank trinket basically on cooldown, you won't be able to press your death mark for another 10 seconds or so, or if you do send it, you'll be sending without your Skardan's Grace because of the shared trinket ICD. So that overlap makes it a little awkward to basically take advantage of the 1.5-minute cooldown, unless you know for sure that like, okay, I'm not going to be pressing death mark for so many seconds, I can get away with using my tank trinket here. In which case, then you are able to catch up on the uses, but it's kind of tough to do that. Especially when like, I'm not super familiar with these polls and the dungeons yet, so... I'm scared to send my tank trinket randomly when it's up and just like use a loose.
I have cooldowns now.
Or lose a use.
I'm gonna do this alone now.
Of Skardan's, that is.
I can do a double next pull.
I'm sending here. You could save for next if you want. You guys are still beating me up.
Also, look at these pulls. We do some small pulls here. It was kind of weird. So, Flames, our tank sent like a double pull with his Incarn because his Incarn was up, but nobody had cooldowns, so we didn't do any more. We then did a single pull because Fel didn't have Incarn, but we all had our cooldowns here. And so now I'm just sitting on my cooldowns for a while, and I'm not really sure what the move is.
What's your Incarn timer?
18 seconds.
And here I start asking about it.
What's your cooldown? Like, okay, average cooldown with it.
30 seconds.
I wouldn't do all with
I try to ask Fel what the cooldown of Incarn is. Basically, the point I was gonna get at too is like, it felt kind of awkward. Like, our tank's Incarn didn't line up with our cooldowns, so like, there'd be some pulls our tank would want to pull big because he's like, I have Incarn, but nobody has cooldowns. And then there are pulls where we have cooldowns, but tank doesn't have Incarn, so we can't really pull big. Tank survivability this season seems to be like a very big thing, so I don't really know what the... apparently Incarn gets like CDR, so I don't really know what its effective cooldown actually is. But I did notice that in this area, that it felt like misaligned. What the tank wanted to do versus what we had up.
They'll pop something here.
Also, nice thing about double shaman is we have double poison cleanse, so this debuff is cheeks. You still press feint though for the application of the dot, because it does do like initial hit. I don't really know if I need to do that. Maybe I can get away with not pressing it, but
melee,
might as well just press it.
Bro, it's this. Love me some melee shit.
Watch speed.
Oh, here's somebody in my chat was talking about an all melee group in City of Threads.
Yeah, how
I don't
come
really.
didn't
I think
get
all melee in here is
Yeah.
fine. I don't really see.
I don't know.
In some dungeons, I think it's kind of cursed, like Arakara
Same
last
here.
boss, for
Yeah,
example.
Nice.
All melee is very cursed. But in here, it's, I don't know, it's kind of chill.
I kick first, guys, starting.
I got circle.
I don't think you do the double thing.
I grow out some stuff. Don't
Oh
get
yeah,
hit.
no, I'm not doing that. Well, you can kill the big guy, and I can chain.
Interrupt.
Hicks.
One thing also I was thinking about,
Circle.
Your
because I'm
feet.
playing the tank trinket that increases your maximum health for the duration you're in combat. I'm pretty sure once you drop combat, you lose the buff. But I don't know if there's like a grace
Oh,
window
yeah, you only-
over which you can maintain it. I think I
Take
press
that
it
off.
here. Okay, but here's an example where I was talking about earlier. I pressed my tank trinket, and now I have my death mark up, but my Scarden's Grace isn't ready because of that shared
I do think we lost this boss too. This boss is really
trinket
Yeah.
cooldown.
so off.
Now, I don't think I would... I'm pretty sure I knew I wanted to save Deathmark for boss, which is why I sent the tank trinket. But it just goes to show, like, there can be some awkward lineups.
I think you have to pop a personal during, like, I can't just healing cooldown through the dark pulse.
The first one, I'm gonna cloak and just run through a bunch of.
Yeah, I feel like
rolls,
if...
which should be pretty
It's
chill.
kind of... The tank trinket is really strong, like, the longer you can just stay in combat, because you can just infinitely build your health pool.
Still fucked though. Yeah, I hear you.
You pull him more to the corner.
But then again, as an ass rogue, you kind of like dropping combat, so
It was
it's a
good,
little-
it was good, don't go too much.
Sorry.
counter-intuitive, maybe. Third boss, Coagulation. This dude is pretty scary. Blood Pulse does insane damage.
Back out.
I'm moving.
I think we end up sending less when it comes off cooldown here. It's a little unfortunate
Yeah.
for me since I won't have my 2 minutes
I bet
lineup,
he won't
but
mess up.
we figured that just sending on cooldown gave us a guaranteed additional lust, so might as well.
Did you already cloak?
Flames take
Also, I'm
more
gonna press
here
cloak here
and
and just eat a ton of them.
I'm taking long. I'm taking
Honestly, I probably could have grabbed more, and I don't.
pop something.
But if you're playing rogue in this fight, I mean, I definitely think you should run around and save your cloak for that specific overlap. It makes... Oh, my dog's barking in the background. Hopefully you guys can't hear that. It makes that overlap a lot easier for the rest of the group. And the boss is already almost at 50%. So even though we're not going to have cooldowns when we send Lust,
Soak if you
we're basically
can.
guaranteeing the fact that we're only going to see one more Blood Pulse, which is good.
I can rally the next AoE pulse.
Also, having like good movement as a tank on this fight makes it a lot easier
Less than 5.
for like puddle management within the room.
Yeah.
I don't really know if we're doing a good job of that or not. I think because we only see 2 Blood Pulses, it's like not... Or sorry, Blood Surge is the name of the ability. No, it's a Dark Pulse, so I'm mixing things up. Because we only see 2 Dark Pulses, I mean, I don't think we have to be super strict with our movement, but at a higher key level, it'd be something to think about. And for this Dark Pulse, I'm basically saving evasion and feints. And I'm planning to
I can soak
like
these.
rip it. I have my finger on health bot ready to rip it if I need, but with Link and a second feint, we are chilling.
I need space.
Well, I should die before the next Dark Pulse. So
I also commit my second use of 2 minutes here just to ensure that it dies.
Oh, we just have to soak.
We still have a little bit of trash to do before the final 2 mobs and then the final boss, so
I
don't think there's any harm in sending here.
Okay. Never mind, I guess.
I'm just sending all my cooldowns around so it does.
Soak here, soak.
Also, you can see my health. Oh, well, now I have
Bottom heal.
Absorb on me, so it's a little bit lower, but I'm at 8.3k with the tank trinket, up from, I don't know what it is. We'll see when I drop combat. Okay, 7.6 right now.
Alright, focus up.
So I had about
boys.
1 million extra health with like 2 uses of the tank trinket,
Last boss.
which is like, I think, really good. I feel like, especially as we get to higher keys and there are more kind of survivability checks, like the City of Threads timer, I think, is very lenient. It's, as I mentioned before, like really just a boss survival check. And specifically for this last fight, I think it's actually like low-key a really good trinket. So although I wasn't intending to leave it on, I think the fact that I did is actually good. Not to imply that we can't do this key without it, but definitely made me feel a lot safer on this last fight.
Yeah, ranged kicker, probably being kick first.
Yeah.
Rolling now.
So we want to pull one of these at a time. We line it and then stack.
I shift out.
Here's some. We're kind of spread out, which is a little weird, especially as an all melee group. We really want to always be stacked. Otherwise, we're like never gonna kill these
I need to be
roots.
quicker than that shit.
But I think after that one, we're a lot better on it.
I just kicked late. Or like later.
Also, this mob is very chill.
I'll kick
I think the other one though is actually sneaky difficult. So
Back up here.
as long as you can as long as you can survive Umbral Weave, this is very.
Fashion next.
This fight is, or this mini boss isn't particularly difficult.
Fashion next.
It is annoying if like after Umbral Weave, because it's a caster, it usually runs away from the tank. But I think our tank is like, I don't know if they're shifting every time, but they have a way to remove the roots right away, which is nice.
Guys, real quick. I'll be on star.
It makes it so that the boss doesn't like immediately run away. This guy on the other hand slaps, dude. His swarm plus stomp. There are some pretty nasty combos. I'm basically always trying to use something. So here I have evasion rolling for the swarms, but it's kind of like it's a little awkward. Like you don't want to commit too much because you have the boss next, which also slaps. But
Burger, how mobile
so
are
you're
you?
kind of playing this juggling game of like how little can I send while also not being gonna die to the next dying to the final boss in here.
Right.
So our healer is like completely out of mana. I don't know if they didn't have a chance to drink. Actually, I think they
No, I think
probably
we're
did
good.
sit down for a drink, but the boss like, or the Warshell mob, hulking Warshell, basically immediately queues up a
It's fine.
Ravenous Swarm the moment you engage. So I don't think
You guys got
they
it.
had a chance to get any mana. I am setting cloak here because I see our
I'd
healer's
rather you
mana.
save it,
We've already lost a DPS,
honestly.
so we just need to make sure we kill at this point. Of course, we get one more Ravenous Swarm, but I believe we are able to kill before the... Yeah, we kill before the next
Back
slam.
up and res from behind. Let him drink too.
I can get it.
Stand in
7
healing.
minutes, lock in.
And here we're gonna have a bit of a...
We don't
We're
wanna
kind of gonna
go
go back
by
and
boss fight,
forth.
do we?
So,
Have it?
Lust is... We have the save debuff for 6 more minutes,
Wait for
No,
cooldowns at all.
but we have 7 minutes left in the key. So what we could do is
We won't
wait
Get
like
this fight.
2 minutes and then engage the boss.
Yeah,
Basically
that's fine,
guarantee
yeah.
that we'll have Lust for like the very end of the fight. So we kind of talk about that for a
think
bit, but
I'd
we're
rather
feeling
just
antsy, so we just end up
go.
pulling the
Maybe
boss,
we
I
can
think.
wait a little bit if people have
What are we waiting for?
like defensives they want to wait on a little bit.
What are we
I'm
waiting
saying
for?
if we pull now, we're not gonna have lust for the fight. So
Why?
Talking
maybe
about
delay a
that.
little bit. I don't know.
I think it would have been better to wait for
But-
Lust.
5 minutes.
If we wait
Yeah,
for
we
Lust,
just
it's-
YOLO
we
it.
only have a minute for the boss. Confused.
I think we should
Let's
just
just go. Yeah, let's
Just
just go.
towards the end, but
You're
yeah.
saying to have it like towards the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, we're good. I think.
go.
We got one attempt. Fuck it, dude. Just put it in.
We got it. We got it,
You
boys.
only have one attempt anyways.
Try to stack as much as you can.
So we're saying cooldowns on full here. What do I commit here? Probably evasion? Yeah, I press evasion.
Great.
I probably should have used it a little bit earlier.
Get out, get out.
Yeah, because I do have to send pot, and we get a link out. Like, it's... We've already sent a lot of defensives just to live that first Tremor Slam, which I think is the more difficult of the 2 abilities to survive.
Okay, it's gonna be one more move.
As a rogue, it's like... Feint is a really good defensive against it, though, so...
Back up.
Beat,
That at least is good, but...
Yeah, on boss. On boss.
We have Umbral Weave. I sit this with Feint. We're all stacked up, so these roots die super fast, which is good.
beat.
Probably had like another 2 seconds or so we could have spent hitting those if we needed.
I'm fine.
Yeah, Assa Rogue feels really good in this fight. You have good root damage every time they go out, and you can also rupture the little ads after the Tremor Slam to get some energy back, which I probably don't do that as much as I could.
Move right here.
Um,
now.
Well, I'm just thinking probably more about my health bar and trying to survive.
Kill these quick, yeah.
Especially here at the end of my Kingsbane. Good add damage, so that is nice.
Okay, it'll be one more move and then get out of melee.
I'm really light on this rally.
Moving now.
Rally.
Eerie Crimson Vial plus Faint. That is
Move
good.
again, move again.
I've also used my tank trinket at some point. I think I used it early
I don't know that'll have anything for the next AoE either. What do we
in this fight, but I don't think I got much value out of it because I used it while I was like rotting. You want to try and use the tank trinket when you're full health because the value you get is from the additional health pool,
need to be
which is
healthful.
where I think it's very strong in this
We're
fight due to like
20
all
seconds.
just the crazy amount of raid damage that you're taking and like one shots that you need to survive with Umbra Weave
Moving
and
now.
Tremor Slam. But yeah, so here I kind of like, I don't know if panic is the right word, but I noticed I was kind of low with defensives going into that
Moving now.
splice, so I end up sending my tank trinket, which then puts my Scarden's Grace on
AoE here.
trinket ICD, and I go into my death mark, and then I don't have
First, like a-
my death mark bind has Scarden's Grace bound to it, so usually when I press death mark it just sends it, but because Scarden's Grace was on
Probably
trinket
won't have
ICD,
anything
it
for the
didn't get pressed, so
I
I
use
should
this
have
on
cloak
this
back,
one.
so I'll be fine.
I didn't notice. I was too busy trying to survive, so I didn't notice my Scarden's Grace come off cooldown, and hence didn't press it. Eventually I noticed and just like rip it. Completely naked, but
Fuck it.
Giving you Earth Shield thing.
yeah, there it is.
I'm using my personal on those. I have
Big
nothing to
Scarden's
my-
Grace value here.
Actually, I can link.
I say that sarcastically.
Cloak's all your
Moving
next
now.
health.
Moving now.
Oh.
We have Cloak here. I just pressed Cloak early for Splice. I feel like that's smart.
Kill these quick.
Having,
Okay,
I think cloaking the Splice is a good idea because although you might, Cloak
Yeah,
might fall off for
so-
like the big
kill the fucking mob.
hit ability,
Let's go,
Let's
baby.
go.
and there we get the time. For the big hit ability like Umbra Weave or Tremor Slam, going into it full health, I think your healer can focus on other people, and you're going to survive that hit anyways with like Feint. So.
Trolled.
That's like a world.
But yeah, we get the time, and that's the key. So pretty cool.
That's how we do it, baby.
Yo,
It was a
no
top
lie, bro.
100
Dude, I
world
actually
key at the
don't think my
time, so
trick
I don't know if
was
it still
trolling, that
is.
wasn't intentional
Have to
for this
check.
key.
But yeah,
Dude,
that's it.
Well,
Thanks for
how much
watching.
XP did you get from the
If
last
you
boss?
liked it, didn't like it, let me know in the
say I had
comments,
about
and
another mill.
Yeah,
since
remember
we
you
see
rolled
well, I
like
might do
a
another one
mill?
like this. But yeah.
Yeah, the
I
rest
have,
of
GG.
I have a grim